Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. I'm your host, Carl Labert, and you have now entered into our Hangout. And this show is entitled The Mighty Hebrew. Want to kill me over the term Hebrew Israelite. If y'all missed it last night, Brother Daniela went live on Maccabees TV. They was talking about the term RBG Hebrew because a lot of people, I would say those from the One West fashions, don't like the term RBG Hebrew. They don't think that one needs to use RBG in conjunction with Hebrew, which denotes Pan-Africanism and working with other people on the African continent and throughout the diaspora, most definitely Europeans, I'm gonna say that too, and Hametics, or even use the term Edomites, so on and so forth. So, for those that don't know, the African continent, the portion known as Northeast Africa, or biblically known as, the Canaanite land, which are Hamitic people, right? That was promised to Abraham by God. It was not his stake or his property until God promised it to him and told him he was going to give it to him. And if Abraham didn't do what God asked him to do to confirm the covenant and the agreement to get the land, we wouldn't have no rights to the land as being descendants of Abraham. All of us that believe we come from that stock, right? Though we might not physically come from that stock, a lot of us at the end of the day believe that. We might be Hamites. We may not be, right? But political ties and stands based up on Hebrew Israelite doctrine. Notice the term I use is Israel doctrine, because I believe God's name is Israel based up on Daniel 9:19. Just to give you something right quick, the land is called Israel and the people call Israel, and they call or a certain name after God, who name is Israel. Now, that's not his only name. That's not his quote unquote Yahweh, so on and so on, tetragrammaton, what they changed it with and all of that stuff. Like I said, I don't even like to try to get into that stuff. I never consider myself a linguistic person. I can barely speak English, and that's something I was supposed to be taught since a baby, right? So I don't get into all this linguistic, tongue wrestling and stuff over words and things of that nature. If you right, you right. If you wrong, you wrong. I'll let you fight with the other linguistic people about the Hebrew, whether if it's paleo and this, that, and everything else. So we was over there talking, and people was trying to denounce the man-made term, whoever came up with it, RBG Hebrew, which is a tradition that some people are trying to push now. Brothers explained that that's their geopolitical stance and using the term and everything. People not trying to hear that because they know the undertone is Pan-Africanism. And based off of primary One West doctrine, we shouldn't have no affiliations or deal with Africans, Hamites. You see this in the video Sinetta shot with Tazariak, who's of ISUPK, that claims that they the true home of One West, so on and so forth. General Yohana, if you ain't rolling with them, you ain't even really a Hebrew Israelite or Israelite now, because I don't think they use the term anymore due to something Tazariak said in discourse that took place about salvation for Israel or Israel only, and on they Cross the Line radio, and he stopped. I said Hebrew something, or I just said the term Hebrew, and he stopped the show to explain that they were not Hebrew Israelites. So a lot of people are coming to the understanding after years of me pushing that that term is a derogatory term. Really, it's a byword. It's something that God didn't give us. You know, people argue the term Christian and say God didn't call us Christian, so on and so forth, right? But just like Peter said, if you suffer under that term because people saying you're a follower of Christ, you know, don't suffer as a evildoer and doing this and doing that, but suffer as a follower of Christ, a true follower of Christ, following the law, statutes, and commandments of Christ, who is the only lawgiver. He gave them to Moses, and Moses dictated them to the people. So he gave the law. Moses didn't even give the law. But as man cannot comprehend the theocracy of the nation of Israel, they don't understand how God dictated to Moses, and Moses being the intercessor at the time, the in-between God and man, Christ and man. They don't understand that Christ, who name was Jesus or Yahshua, or however you want to say it in the Hebrew, was the dictators of the law, statutes, and commandments forever, because he don't change. 1 second. So I myself, a guy that love to be a dictator. Look, man, this is the topic. This is the subject matter. This is what we gonna deal with. Was on topic, dealing with the subject matter last night, dealing with what we should call ourselves as a people and what terms we use and how it might confuse people, as the term RBG Hebrew has caused issues in the Israelite community, or should I say Hebrew Israelite community, since most of them will claim to be Hebrew Israelites. So we having a discourse, and it's my turn to speak. And as I'm speaking, you know, I pretty much let people know I don't like the term Hebrew Israelite. I think it's bogus, it's man-made, it's man tradition, or it's a doctrine of man, all these different terms to denote that it didn't come from God. He called us Israel. He said he's calling his son out of Egypt, Israel. He didn't say, I'm calling my son Hebrew Israelite. So as a national body politic, we was known as the children of Israel, not the children of Hebrew Israelites, not this and that. And we were surnamed Israel. This is so basic and elementary. What was Jacob's name? Though Jacob was a Hebrew, what did he call him? He called him Israel. He didn't say you a Hebrew Israelite now. God never dictated that or said that. Once again, that's a tradition of man. It's man-made. So in dealing with the term Hebrew Israelite, I considered a combination of two words, which make it like a compound word, based up on what a compound word is, two words. So when they write Hebrew Israelite, they don't connect the two, they put a space in it. They don't even put a slash in it and say we could be Hebrew or / Israelite, seeing that they interchangeable. And he was saying that. We all know that they interchangeable. See, this is where brothers, so-called of the same learned perspective, try to act like other brothers is just ignorant of stuff. That's why they try to get into linguistics when all us don't speak in tongues. All us can't interpret tongues. But they try to show that they smarter, most people, by start quoting linguistic stuff and different things and like, well, see, I speak the language, so I'm greater, or should we say mightier than you, because I have a tongue, the ability to so-called linguistically deal with a subject matter. And that's what he tried to do and tried to front on me. Now, the dude is arrogant. All night, he's talking long and trying to, you know what I'm saying, jump into certain topics. With I don't have a problem with a open conversation and being able to go back and forth, because I'm a grown man. I'm capable of having a grown man conversation, not getting mad, not getting angry, calling people out their name and stuff. Now, I can do that too, seeing that I can deal with the polarities that's on the table. You go one way, I can mismatch and go the other way. Or I can match you. I can match you or mismatch you. No problem. I had the capabilities of doing that. I understand it. And that's that. Right? But for a lot of people, you probably say, damn, all of this over the term Hebrew Israelite? Yes. Because number one, he called his organization, or what he deal with, Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalists. Right? Hebrew Israelite is a part of the terminology in which he used as an organization and as a body politics. Some have even said they're part of the Hebrew Israelite nation. And there's never been such a thing biblically. So, this is my basic argument out the dope to try to get people to at least think about what they're talking about when we have a conversation about the term Hebrew Israelite. If you could show me in any of the historical spiritual texts of the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, where the term and the combination of two words, a compound word, as I say, Hebrew Israelite, then I can't do nothing but accept it. Because I can't argue against our text. You know, I tell people I don't deal with the so-called lost books, or I don't give authority to them. So I don't argue for them against them. I don't deal with them. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, I don't go through dissing none of Israel, quote unquote, Israel doctrine, a teaching in our historical spiritual texts, our ancestry texts. So if you find any of that say the combination of Hebrew Israelite, then I got to go with it. So just justify the word by the text. Nobody can do that because it's not in any text. It doesn't exist. It's a modern, man-made traditional doctrine. Man-made. Now we can roll with it or not. I'm not the one for just tradition, and I'm not one for made up doctrine. If it wasn't written, I don't really want to fuck with it. It's my stance. So, me and the brother getting into it, I asked him to do that. He want to take me on a linguistic history of words. I had asked him not to try to choke me to death with linguistics. I'm not a linguistic person, and I'm not trying to go run to other people and say, linguistically, is Hebrew pronounced like this in the Hebrew tongue, or is Israel pronounced like this in the Hebrew tongue? None of that. I just asked him to do a simple thing, and that's a so-called righteous man that stands on the text and letting his yea and his nay be what it's supposed to be. He couldn't say, yea, my brother, here it is. Or nay, my brother, I can't do it. So I charged him and the rest of the panel. And said, he's saying he can do it because I keep asking him just to do that. I don't need nothing else. We can take the next step after you get past this. If you want to confront me on this, if you can do this, then we can start the conversation. If you can't do this, it's not really a conversation because you're not going to convince me. You may be able to convince someone else to roll with that, right? You're not going to convince me because I'm not going to call myself a domestic terrorist under that terminology. If they gonna get me, they gonna get me for fighting for the term Israel, the surname that was given us in the English vernacular, in the English tongue. Israel, Israel. Not no wide, no this and that. When I read the King James, that's how it's written. Israel. And if it's right or wrong, that's based up on the fact that the Lord God of Israel allowed them to put it in the book. So if I'm wrong, then he wrong for letting them do it, because that's all I could go off of. That's all I'm gonna go off of. So as I was finna do, I'm gonna go back and show you the historical context of why it's a problem between me and this brother, and why he wants to kill me over this term Hebrew Israelite, or just kill me in general because he hate his brother, quote unquote, because I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. Don't make us brothers, right? He's Torah only. He won't even recognize the Holy One of Israel, the rock. He's steady, neglecting it. So how you gonna build a house and you ain't got the rock to build on? And that rock is God. That rock is Christ. You see what I'm saying? The one that the Father anointed. Because there's two, one anointed the other. That's simple. I ain't even got to go out of the quote unquote Old Testament to deal with that. God and his anointed. Who is his anointed? Well, it tells you God anointed God. Now you can deal with that linguistically however you want to. If the statement false, the statement false. If the statement be true, it be true. So the history of this is, this brother has been a part of the conscious community. He has sit on Sinetta couch. He has been named by Sinetta. So therefore, he has the House of Conscious Sinetta mentality, which is, y'all know, lately I've been saying that's the Black identity extremist community. And y'all not conscious of it, but you say you're a conscious community. You're not conscious that that house, so-called House of Consciousness, is a government op. Whether if it started out like that or after Sinetta bootlegging and couldn't pay his taxes and all of that, and Michael Edwards and Lex Vortex called them out, and the IRS, the same people that just got Tazadaki for embezzlement $5.3 million, them same people in which Sinetta was out in front of the Harlem camp of Israel, Church of Jesus Christ, Tazadaki's spot. The IRS could have easily talked to Sinetta years ago and said, look, you can go down for these taxes like all the big time mafia figures and stuff, or you can set your community up. Which one you want to do? You 50 some years old. You think you could do 20, 30 years in the feds? Which one you gonna do when it get gangster like that? So this the premise, and the fact that he got a lot of extremists over there, Black identity extremists, those that identify as Black and are very extreme in their views and their conversation about things. So he come from that fashion. this is where he get his, introduction into into the, YouTube world and everything through the Sinetta TV brand. So he eventually goes to jail because they said he molested some child. Statutory rape, pretty much. Now, either it was consent or not consent. But however it go, the young lady was underage. The whole community knows about this, right? And as I deal with pedophilia and child molestation on my channel, I done brought this up before. But I didn't even defended him on Titans TV when, what's his name? Kufu come at him and say, hey, brother, didn't you go to jail for child molestation? I was like, that's bogus for you to come out and ask this man in the middle of a broadcast that don't have nothing to do with that type of question. So I didn't defend it, the brother, because righteous is righteous and unrighteous is unrighteous. About that situation, though I believe that he was convicted, probably rightful so, maybe not, my belief, rightfully so for sleeping with an underage young lady and going to prison for it. Now, this is why he's in the House of Conscious community and stuff. He goes to prison for this. He comes out of prison. Hit Sinetta TV like one time, and then he bounced over to Basim, Global Media. Now, when I see him on Global Media, he done gave this man his whole dossier. Gave him all his court records, gave him all this stuff where he done became a sovereign nationalist, a sovereign whatever, citizen or sovereign. We also know in the Black Identity Extremist letter, whatever you want to call it, that leaked out or whatever program paper, that when you talk about sovereignty, that's also a key word that alerts them people that you're an extremist because you saying the hell with America. We want to separate from America and be sovereign. So he used Hebrew Israelite, which most know as Black Hebrew Israelite, BHIs, which if you identify as a Black Hebrew Israelite, then you identifying as Black. That's just simple as it is. And then if you extreme in your conversation, you can be it could be denoted that you're a Black identity extremist because you identify as a Black Hebrew Israelite. That's why most people start dropping the Black off of it because they don't want to be identified as a Black extremist. But Hebrew Israelite itself is a terroristic terminology when it comes to it. They still call them Black supremacy groups. They just saying these Blacks don't identify as Black. We identify them as Black, yet they call themselves Hebrew Israelites and still push a Black nationalist viewpoint. This is the terminology that they're using with Tazadaki, who is going to be a profile for everyone West Camp and every other Hebrew Israelite organization out there. Now, June the 30th, last year, profiling and stalking of the Israelite male, the Black male, is a conference, a lecture, that I did. Dealing with this whole situation before the Black Identity Extremist paperwork came out. Because in this community, we'll just say the Israelite community. We ain't even gonna talk about the conscious community. You'd have had Christian apologetics, a Christian apologist saying that the Hebrew Israelites or the Black Hebrew Israelites is extreme. They even call me extreme. And I'm never talking about making a white man kiss my feet or I'm gonna enslave them when the Lord come, or none of that stuff. Rape they women's, none of the stuff you hear from Hebrew Israelites on street corners throughout America, right? But they say, you know, I'm extreme with my doctrine. Terminology, I will be very liberal, quote unquote, with what I teach and what I do. So that alarmed me, the way they was attacking the Israelite community. And the Sinetta network has always took Israel and put them in a bad light to cause people to hate them and say different things about them. So all of this is politics. And as I say, I'm an Israelite nationalist. He wanted to say, I'm the first one to do that. Bro, you don't even call yourself Israelite. You call yourself a Hebrew Israelite. So if you want to say, I'm the first to be a Hebrew Israelite nationalist, sovereign nationalist, damn it, you can have that title. I don't call myself a Hebrew Israelite, nor do I call myself sovereign. I use the term nationalist because I'm dealing with national issues, social, political, and economic, just like a black nationalist. I just dropped the byword and put Israel on it. Voila. So, like I said, he goes to jail for child molestation, statutory rape, or whatever. He comes out, he give all this information about Sim. It's probably still up on global media. He give all this information to him, allow him to have his paperwork and everything. He say, well, I had to get my birth certificate. I had to go to Britain. I had to do this. And he did all this stuff to get out of jail. This is how he say he got out of jail, through pulling his sovereign national status on the people, Hebrew sovereign national status, right? I was right there. I listened to it the day he did it. I downloaded it. I got it. If Basim, take it down, right? Information is power. So that was creepy in itself, listening to that and giving your information to a brother that say he's an Arab and his skin is less melanated than your average Puerto Rican or Mexican and stuff that they say are Hebrew Israelites. But anyway, he say he an Arab. People say he look like an Edomite or a Gentile or Caucasian, but yet Mighty Hebrew deal with them, right? But he got a problem with Hamitic people, African, this dark skin that could have amalgamated with us. And though they don't just say they Israel, they could be living the culture, living the Torah, keeping Torah and all of that, but they just not of the descent of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they might be of the descent of those that came out in the Exodus that still consider Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob their spiritual fathers. This is all the stuff I be talking about, and people be like, what you do for the community? I'm talking about the issues that need to be talked about and dealing with the politics that need to be talked about to save us from total annihilation. But it's always going to be a remnant. And though it might not be a total annihilation, I'm still trying to save as many Israelites that want to go up under these terroristic terms in this day and time, which is not biblical, but people fight me for it. So he get his information about Sim. Little time passed. Me, Tazariak, Michael Edwards, we on Sinetta. They attacking me, trying to talk down about me and stuff. Basim asked for them to be on there. Sinetta brought them on there just to cause havoc and division, where he could say, see, y'all Israelites, this, that, and the other, or y'all Hebrew Israelites. So me and Basim get into it. I say, you friends with everybody. These so-called Black Hebrew Israelites say they don't mess with foreigners or people from other nations, but you a foreigner and a person from another nation. I'm not, quote unquote. But he test the water, talk about my mother, called her a bitch, and said she burning in hell, and all of them ignored that. They had nothing to say. This is like the Hassan Campbell situation that's going on. We're talking about raping children, watching child porn, doing all this different stuff. And people just let it go like it ain't happening in the community. So he called my mother a bitch, said she burning in hell because he knows she deceased, trying to get me mad to, verbally threaten him and stuff so he can have evidence and stuff that he could take to his superiors. Because I believe he probably in naval intelligence or whatever, due to his phone number bouncing off a tower in the Navy Yard and stuff, Washington, D.C. We done talked about all this for people that know. But him and Mighty Hebrew, they work together. Mighty Hebrew then signed contracts with this brother for him to work his website and all of that. So they join hand in hand. Now remember, he have a problem with Africans and Hamitic people, but he don't have a problem with this Arab. At least that's what Basim say he is. He don't have a problem with him. He going into business with him, going into covenant him, contracting with him to come up with the Mighty Hebrew University, which Konsu the Danite said they was robbing people because he was trying to teach and be a part of that, dealing with linguistics and stuff because he deal with that, and say people was texting him talking about money and stuff. So they was robbing the community. Hebrew Israelites been quiet on this. I ain't been quiet on this. So this is where animosity and friction between me and the Mighty Hebrew coming from, because he joined forces with Basim after he talked about my mother. He knew this. Others knew this. It was confirmed to him. He never confronted Basim about it, and he never broke away with him because he went into contract with him, with this quote-unquote Arab, because that's what he called himself, who's most definitely, you can say genealogy-wise, if he's an Arab, he's a part of the Shemitic, but he's not Israel. He's not Israel. He might be quote-unquote a Hebrew, but he's not Israel. That's another danger in saying that you're a Hebrew of any shape, form, or fashion, because there are Hebrews out there that's your family. Edomites are Hebrews, but you want to deny them, but you say you're a Hebrew. What kind of political, you know what I'm saying? What kind of political ideology is you dealing with now? You say you're a Hebrew and you get mad at the Arab who Hebrew, you get mad at the Edomite who Hebrew. And you say, well, they ain't Israelites. If you don't claim Hebrew, you don't have to say, yeah, they're my Hebrew brothers, because they are your Hebrew brothers. In the sense they're your Hebrew cousins. So now, if you want to tie yourself back to Hebrews, then you got to honor the fact that these other people are Hebrews. But, I'm just, you don't know this and you don't know that. You're not intelligent and you don't speak languages. All right, whatever. You go win the people over with your horse and pony show, and I'm going to win them over with just simple facts. So, he have a problem with Africans, but he joined an organization in the prison called African Hebrew Israelites, the Demona Israel Kingdom of Yah people. Then he tell them, well, I don't like y'all term African on your Hebrew Israelite, so I ain't gonna rep that. To hell with that. But you join the organization. If you had a problem with African, you don't join the organization with African on it, like you don't join RBG Hebrews because it got RBG on it. You a fucking hypocrite. But the thing is, he a part of brothers that's trying to usurp the Demona people. Now we talking politics. This is something I've been telling people too, but I don't talk about it that much, because this is privy information for those that's in the know. Those that ain't in the know, well, I'm kind of letting y'all in now. This is where issues with me and him is coming up with. Because even with Basim, he was trying to work his way into the Demona thing and everything. Remember, naval intelligence. Usurpers, agent provocateurs and fucking COINTELPRO. So he's trying to wiggle his way into the African Hebrew Israelite situation and take Basim with him, his business partner. Divine asked him that last night. Aren't you a part of the African Hebrew Israelite? But you mad because we using RBG, which denotes Pan-African flag, the RBG flag? Well, they know that I'm one to kick against the African. How you gonna join an organization and then tell them don't do that? That's like me joining the Hebrew Israelite organization and saying everybody around there saying they Hebrew Israelites, and then I'll be like, man, I don't fuck with Hebrew Israelite. Well, nigga, you need to get your ass out this organization. Nah, I'm here to usurp it, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make y'all drop Hebrew off of it, and we gonna be Israelites. No, I don't do that. I stay over here and talk about what's going on over there, because I don't want to be a part of that. So that's hypocritical of the brother, and he on there trying to diss those that came up with RBG Hebrew. And then diss those that came up with African Hebrew Israelite. If you want to be a Hebrew Israelite sovereign, you do that shit on your own shit. Sovereign national, you go start your own organization and don't join other people and stuff, and don't be talking about making you a prince in their circle and all of that. But this is the devil, the serpent, slithering in, causing confusion, and trying to run shit. So this is me and Mighty Hebrew issue. So he just made it seem like, oh, I got an issue with you saying Hebrew Israelite is wrong. And nigga, that's why I don't fuck with you and I don't get on panels with you and I kill you and all this shit. It's like, goddamn, nigga. We just arguing the term Hebrew Israelite. Either you correct or incorrect. Where the fuck all this hostility about killing me and all of that stuff come from? Now you want to give a government an opportunity to kill you and say, I did it, or them to kill me and say, you did it. But you work for them, so you're going to go get your Hebrew sovereign nationalist immunity for fucking killing me. Because you with them goddamn people. And you trying to usurp shit and everything, and you know in the back that I know because I'm in the political arena just like you, talking and dealing with brothers just like you. And I know what the fuck you doing. So on the low, you like, this son of a bitch is doing this and that, and he's trying to fuck up what I'm trying to create and what I'm trying to do. And you damn skipping. We don't need no fucking Hebrew Israelite sovereign national shit. All those terms are fucking red lights coming on down at the CIA and shit. But you want to get people involved in that so you can get their ass locked up. That's how I'm calling it. That's how I see it. And I can put evidence on the table to prove forth every goddamn thing I'm saying. I could go back and show you the shows where I laid this shit. I done dissed it before. I said, are we being taken in by the Moors sovereign stuff and the Hebrew Israelite sovereign stuff? Because soon you say sovereign, that go to sovereign citizens, and sovereign citizens, the whites and the black, are extreme. They take people houses, they do this and they do that. That's why one of the reasons the Moors is number one in that black identity extremist stuff with sovereignty and sovereign paperwork. That goes to Polite, that goes to Taj Tariq Bey, Ali Muhammad, Mighty Hebrew, and all them that bring that sovereign separatist shit to the table. Korean fucking gangs. They went in there, shot that woman and her child, killed her over some sovereign fucking lingo. I have a right to drive without a driver license and all this. I can print up me a driver license and a license plate and all of this shit. And when I told y'all, when Professor Griff was running from that Michael X. Johnson shit, that's the comedic community. Then IUIC had a brother shoot a trendy in Evanston, Indiana, and Korean gang was shot and killed during that same time. They started the war against black people and black nationalist organizations. The only people they didn't fuck with to a degree was the Nation of Islam. But all black nationalist organizations was being attacked then, and they just amped it up ever since. And more bullshit conversation has come out of more people mouths since that time, giving them more of a profile to work with to lock niggas up. Y'all think this YouTube shit is just entertainment. This shit ain't entertainment for me. Nah, I'm hitting the garbage can that I'm on, emphasizing my points. This is not a game. This is not a test. This is real life shit. War. Spiritual, physical, the principalities is at work like a motherfucker. But y'all ain't got to listen to me. Y'all ain't got to take the game from me. Y'all can say that nigga is stupid, ignorant. Those that listen and take heed and take warning, like Noah told them goddamn fools in his time and told them, listen, it's going to rain. And they like, man, look, I'm going to smoke this weed and sit back and fuck some of these hoes, make it rain and shit and do what I'm doing and have fun. And all that shit stop once the rain start. So when the government make it rain on you hoes, I don't want to hear nothing. Don't come running to me. I'm saying, I told y'all, nigga, I was over here building the ark to survive this. You ain't want to hear me? Now everybody that's cool and got their tickets to get on the ark, come on, let's go. Lead them over there to drown and die to death. Because you want to be on the Hebrew Israelite train. To the concentration camps that people talking about now. In the, I'm going to die instead of being a slave. Why y'all think all this red, I can't even get the word out. You know what I'm saying? All this bullshit conversation is out here to give you a false illumination and enlighten you that this is the option you should take. And when the only option is to be righteous during the time of wickedness and let the wicked kill the wicked. Let the dead bury the dead. I go amongst Hebrew Israelite brothers to try to talk to them and wake them up. And the more I do it, the more flack and shit that I get for doing it. I be want to say fuck them. But at the same time, telling them the truth is a witness against them. Carl told you on such and such a day, but because of envy, jealousy, hate, and all this shit, you said fuck them. So you know what? What you pronounced on him, now you get it. You get fucked. And when it happened, I'm going to be heavy-hearted. But I'm going to be like, fuck them. So people, anybody can get touched. If you say you want to kill somebody over the internet, I say you with them people. Because you don't make death threats over the internet. Because if you don't do it, somebody could do it. And then they can process you as the one that called a hit on them. So that's agent provocateur shit right there. What you want me to get on the internet and say, no, nigga, I'm going to kill you and woo woo. Nah. I ain't going to do that. I didn't come to the understanding that that is not a smart political thing to do. I'm not going to do that. So anybody that want to threaten my life, say they want to kill me, they'll fuck me up and do all these things to me, I ain't fucking with you no more. And I'm going to just label your ass as an agent. And when I see you and fuck with you, I'm going to fuck with you as you an agent, working for them people, trying to bring down the demise of God's people, not my people. I don't own no fucking Israelites. I don't have no bill of sale. For as I know, it say in Acts 20 and 28, God purchased us with his blood. And I got godly jealousy for all those that he purchased. But this BIE shit is real, people. And there's agents in the community that work for the fucking government that's trying to lead y'all in the path for getting y'all ass knocked up. Trying to have y'all hold on to shit that y'all need to hold on to. It ain't of God. It's man-made. You ain't never got to fuck with Israel doctrine. I came up with that term. You can't find it in none of the spiritual texts. But you know that because I'm telling you that. And it's the same thing about the term Hebrew Israelite. But if you want to fuck with it and you want to stamp that shit on your head and you want to go down for that, by all means, nigga, rep that shit, put it on every piece of garment you wear, nigga, spray paint that shit on your car, do whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? Do whatever you want. Put the bullseye on your ass. I'm going to warn people not to put the same bullseye on. And if they said, that nigga is a Gentile or Edomite lover, don't listen to him, and you choose not to listen to me, get your Killmonger on. Killmonger killed people. And I don't think y'all gonna do nothing to the police. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing to a federal agent. Y'all ain't gonna go to war with them people. You too pussy. But you ready to kill a brother. You'll make me your open enemy, but say them people your open enemy, and you ain't gonna do that. So you faking anyway. Stop pump faking. If you're gonna kill people, be it me or the government, nigga, get it in. I don't see you niggas with guns getting it in. I see you niggas jaw jacking. Murderers murder. Killers kill. So I ain't gonna ask you to produce the bodies, but if you ain't got no bodies, nigga, I'm not trying to hear what you say. Cause the day I say I'm a murderer and a killer, you gonna know. I'm probably gonna be sitting in the fucking penitentiary. Cause I ain't gonna be trying to hide it. I'm gonna openly do what the fuck I gotta do. And let the whole world know why I laid me a bitch ass nigga down. And I'm gonna say it's a righteous kill. And be ready to do the time and everything else for it. So there is a time to kill, as the book say. There's a time and season for everything. It also said live peacefully with all men as possible. You niggas act like y'all don't want peace with no man, which is you being defiant. If possible, live in peace with all men. And it's possible to live in peace with me. Because all I'm doing is critiquing bad teachings, false doctrine, and stuff. And if you got a problem with that and you can't be at peace with me because of that, and you say one of us got to go, shit, I'm going to let the Lord choose which one going to go. Because if you clap at me, I'm clapping back. And I'm a scary ass nigga. You might get your ass clapped before you clap at me because you made the threat. And I take every threat as truthfully and honestly that a nigga will carry out what the hell he say out of his mouth. You know why? Because I know it's in your heart. If you speak it out your mouth, it's in your heart. That's what understanding the book. That's what understanding the book do. No words proceed out your mouth if it ain't in your heart. It's in your thoughts, in your heart to do me harm, and I believe you would do it. Because you manifested in words. And I'm a scary ass nigga. And the first rule of law of the jungle shit is self-preservation. I'd rather have motherfuckers judge me, what they say 12, than 6 to be carrying me. So I don't take vain threats as vain threats. So to all the people in the world that may hear this, and for future people that may hear this, I take death threats serious, and I'm afraid of everyone that makes it, because they might have license to kill by the fucking government or whatever entity they working with, and they may try to kill me when they see me. So with that said, I'm not gonna prolong it. I'm not gonna push it and stuff. But if you a nationalist, as people say, then what is our national agenda, or what should be the national agenda, and what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? What we talking about? So if you turn from being religious, just doing acts, religious acts, or you could say divine act services, that's really what religion is, then turn away from that and get into nationalism. Get into nationalism. What we gonna do economically? Let's not give none of them $1 million. Why can't we debate each other and make $1 million? Oh, because you don't want to lose your audience or your class or whatever. No, you should gain them, because you should say, brothers, I done came into light that we've been teaching or doing something wrong. Now let's correct that and be even more powerful now. Because the more you walk in the truth and in the light and in the way, the powerful you get. Don't hate a brother for enlightening you. Thank him. Because Leviticus, what is it, 19 or whatever? I can't think of the script offhand like that. But shit, don't hate your brother, and all wise rebuke him. And don't suffer sin up on them. That is Torah. Rebuke somebody that's wrong, suffer not sin up on them, so you can save a multitude of souls. That one and everyone that listen or would listen and follow that person in the wrong path. Correction is needed. If you beyond being corrected or don't want to be corrected, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I'm going to feed the babies and I'm going to feed the sheep. All you wolves, I'm going to try not to let y'all feed on them. That's it. I'm out, y'all. Peace.